I think this is our example 6. So it says determine the gradient and y-intercept of the following lines. And we are given a rule that is not in the form of y equals mx plus c. So if we're going to do this by hand, what we have is to rearrange this formula in order to be able to put it into the terms of y equals mx plus c. So I'm going to do that first here. So I'm going to do it by hand. So I do 5y take away 6x is equal to negative 18. And then I'm going to leave the y alone. So to do that, I'm going to add 6x both sides. And when I do that, I can cancel this up. And I get 5y is equal to 6x take away 18. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So if I divide by 5, I have to divide all of this by 5. So this cancels up. And then I get that y is equal to 6 over 5x take away as 18 over 5. Now the gradient, I'm going to leave it as this. I'm not going to change it to an improper fraction. The reason to do this is because I need the rise over run. And then my y-intercept, I am going to simplify this fraction because we always have to simplify and given in lower terms, and I'm going to change it to improper fraction. So first, to simplify it, I divide this one by 3, and this becomes a 6, and the what? Well, I can't simplify this fraction. Sorry, girls, I can divide both by 3, but what I can do is change it to an improper fraction. So I can say 18 divided by 5, that's 3, and I get a remainder of 3. Is that right? I can say yes. So I can write this one as 5 and my goodness, what is happening with me? I'm tired, you can tell. So this one is equal to 3 and 3/5. There you go. So that will be how we'll write my rule. So if I do that, I can establish that my the gradient is 6 over 5, so it's positive, and my y-intercept is 0 and negative 3 and 3/5. Wonderful. So maybe the CAS is not as useful for to do this one, but I just wanted to show you how I will use my CAS if I had to. So what I will do is I will find first, let's go home and let's do a calculator. Wonderful. And we're going to enter that formula here, but again we're going to write it as 5. Okay, I'm going to say solve, and I'm going to do 5y take away 6x equals negative 18, and I'm going to solve for y first when x is equal to 0. So in other words, I'm finding my y-intercept, and when I do that, I get that my y-intercept is negative 18 over 5. That's what we had here, negative 18 over 5. So I got that my y-intercept what the CAS is giving me, I'm going to write it here. So I know that my y-intercept is negative 18/5. I'm going to write it like this for a moment. And then I'm going to find my x-intercept. And when I do that, so I'm going to type the same thing. So I'm just going to go up and enter. And then I'm going to say solve this one for x when y is equal to 0. And I get that my x-intercept is 3. So my x-intercept is 3, 0. So I'm going to sketch here. This is not a perfect graph. I just want you to follow what I'm going to do here, my logic. So I know if this is y and this is x, I know that my y-intercept is down here somewhere, where this one is negative 18/5. Here it is. And then my x-intercept is around here when this one is 3. Okay, but what I'm being asked is to find my gradient. And what do we know about my gradient? So I know that my gradient is going to be equal to rise over run. Do I have a rise here, girls? I'm asking you. Can I establish what is my rise here from this point to this point? So if I'm going to establish what is my rise here, I'm in this point and I'm going to move to that point. So this point, I know that in x is going to be 0. So my rise is negative 8/5. That's my rise, what I have in green there. And what is my run? My run is this bit here from 0 to 3. So my run is going to be here, negative is going to be over 3. So that's my run. So if I do this in the CAS, I'm going to find what is going to be my gradient. So let's do it in my CAS. So I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it with a fraction here. So negative 8/5. Out, and I'm going to divide this by 3. And if I press enter, I get that this answer is negative 6/5. And this is my gradient, which is the same one. I made a mistake here. What is my mistake, girls? I have in both 6/5, but I wrote here that my run was negative. Is my run negative or am I going upwards? I'm going upwards, so my run was not negative. My run was positive. So my gradient is 6/5, the same one that I found here. So you can use both methods to solve it, but I know that this might be not intuitive at the beginning, but the more that you practice, the better that you will get at it. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you, girls.